Hello, and welcome to the Earth Charter webinar series. This is the first installment in our 5-part series about the Earth Charter and its impact on our world. My name is Mallory Hopkins, and I'm the host of this series, as well as the Earth Charter internal champion for Medcom Benefit Solutions. Medcom provides employee benefits and services for companies and institutions across the country. We became a partner with Earth Charter International at the beginning of 2020 and have been working for our community even before that. We have several internal committees that work to make Medcom a more collaborative, accepting, and sustainable place. Our employees have contributed to a number of local volunteer projects, and we recently became a member of the North Florida Green Chamber of Commerce. If you haven't heard of it, Earth Charter International is an organization that cultivates a global network of people creating enthusiastic local action to make the world a better place. ECI also offers a globally renowned education center that teaches online and in-person classes about leadership, sustainability, and ethics. These courses use the Earth Charter document as a guide. The inspirational principles incorporated in this document are the heart of ECI, as well as the Earth Charter movement. The Earth Charter document is made up of 4 pillars that describe in detail how to make the world a more just, sustainable, and peaceful place. The 4 pillars are respect and care for the community of life, ecological integrity, social and economic justice, and democracy, nonviolence, and peace. I am joined by 2 wonderful thought leaders today. They'll be giving an interview-style presentation that will serve as an introduction to the Earth Charter and how to apply it. Gerben van Straaten is the founder of World of Wallace in the Netherlands. World of Wallace is an Earth Charter partner and works to provide dynamic, sustainable urban developments in Europe and North America. Wallace's projects focus on real estate and constructive development, but of equal importance, they incorporate an integrated foundation for the social, economic, cultural, and ecological systems within each community. Irma Verhoeven will serve as our interviewer today. She brings a scientific and educational background to serving the World of Wallace organization. She has worked closely with Earth Charter International for many years, including a 2-year assignment helping build ECI's education center in San Jose, Costa Rica, and by facilitating online courses. I'm so glad they've both taken the time to join us today, and I'll go ahead and hand it over to them for the rest of the program.
Thank you so much, Mallory. It's our honor and pleasure to talk to you guys about World of Wallace and how we use the Earth Charter as a tool for change. We are currently in the Netherlands on 2 different locations. I will introduce Gerben, or actually he will introduce himself as the CEO of World of Wallace. Gerben, can you talk a little bit about yourself?
Hi. Well, to create more sustainable cities. When we started, it was really an uphill battle because we still had to explain what sustainability is. At this point, we're really making progress, and it is one of the hottest topics in the world of sustainable urban development. So yeah, we're in the core of it in different levels. And that's what defines us.
Thank you so much. So, of course, my first question would be, how did you find the Earth Charter, or maybe the Earth Charter found you?
Well, if you look at the screen, for me, making choices about sustainability and where we have to go and the community of life, all things that are so important for the Earth Charter, is all about balance. Balance in everything, the way that we relate to nature, the way that we relate to each other. And I thought this picture is actually quite telling. It shows where most of the people are, because it shows the night lights of where we live. But it also shows, for instance, that in the circle, 2/3 of all the people in the world live in this circle. But if you look at where the lights are on most, it's in all kinds of other places. And I think if you really want to do better, we have to control how we use the resources of the earth. You have to be better balanced, for instance, look at the continent of Africa, where a lot of people live. You know, the little lights that are in the armpit of Africa. Actually, that is going to be one of the biggest countries in the world. It's Nigeria. I think in 15 years, it will be the third country in the world after India and China. But there's almost no lights at night. So, you know, let's divide things more just, better. Let's find our balance so we can really build a good future for ourselves. And I think for us, that starts with cities, because cities have such a critical mass. Basically, all the lights that you see are cities, and we have to pick up the battle for sustainability in cities. You know, I've heard other people say, but I say it too, the battle for sustainability will be won or lost in our cities. So let's try to make an impact there.
So the question actually was, how did you find the Earth Charter, or did the Earth Charter find you?
That's a good question. Well, for me, it was all about balance, and I was looking for that balance, you know, since I started working in urban development. Because if you work in cities, you work in urban development, the first thing you know that there's nothing that developers do is about balance. You know, they all have a very short term of being involved in a chain of urban development. And they don't look at the long term. They really want to maximize the profit on the short term. The value chain of what they're looking at is very small. So I was always trying to do some things differently. Every choice I tried to make about balance and about good and bad. And after doing that for, I think, what was it, 10, 15 years, I came in touch with people from the Earth Charter. And one of their leaders said, you know, you are actually Mr. Earth Charter because you always try to work with the Earth Charter without knowing that it existed. And when I started reading about the Earth Charter, it helped me so much with trying to define those daily choices about what is good and what is bad, and gave it direction, helped me articulate the questions, helped me to teach the questions and the solutions. So that is how I found the Earth Charter. Or basically we collided, and somebody in the Earth Charter, you know, made me aware that what I was doing was actually almost what the Earth Charter wanted. So that was very important. And if you look at this slide too, I was on a quest to find my why. You know, I was already in that urban development. I tried to do things different. I was trained by economists and other professionals that said, you know, we have to do this differently. But defining that why was really hard. And, you know, that was a click. You know, once I read the Earth Charter, I really knew, okay, this defines my why. This also defines my question, must we change? That is not a question for us anymore. It's not a question in our company. Yes, we must change. You know, it's still more about how and what, but that is maybe what we can get into a little bit later. And, you know, if you look at this slide of the Earth Charter, this is about balance. If I'm in urban development and I talk to cities, even now after dealing with sustainability for the last 20 years in cities everywhere, sustainability in cities, in businesses, in development, you know, it's still about the technical solutions mostly. You know, it's about smart cities, it's about how you can plug in gadgets and make cities smarter by using different kind of equipment and technical solutions. I know that, for instance, Mr. Gorbachev at some point said technical solutions are the only solutions that are not sustainable. You know, technical sustainability is the only sustainability that's not sustainable, because it changes so fast that it is so important to find that balance in how you govern your company, how you govern things around you. So the balance that you see here with the 4 pillars of the Earth Charter are very important for how we try to do our community developments in cities as well.
Thank you. So you talked a little bit about, you know, within our company, we use the Earth Charter. Can you explain how you use the Earth Charter in your organization, in how you lead your business, and how do you involve, you know, the employees, the co-workers within Wallace?
Well, to be honest, that is an ongoing, I wouldn't say challenge, but an ongoing part of what we try to do. You know, when we do new projects, when we engage with cities and other businesses, you know, it is a good level to talk about where sustainability should go to introduce the Earth Charter. And the defining question is how to make better cities for the future. If we really look at how we do it in our company, then there's so many different levels in our company, because we have a unique company. We have project managers, we have architects, we have economists, but also we have a lot of operators in our projects, from cleaners to local operators, technical people, builders. So through all those different layers, we have to explain it a little bit different. Of course, all these people can make choices that help us towards better sustainability. Buy better products, or invest in the right companies, or find the right investors that really want to be sustainable and not also have a sideline where they invest in things that are not so sustainable. So that is really important for us. And that is also why the question, can we change, is so important. Because you have to engage with your people and persuade them. We also invest a lot, for instance, in innovations. I really think that you have to find solutions anywhere. And that is how we try to bring solutions closer to sustainability, so we can go faster with implementing better lifestyle in our cities. So if you go to the next slide, you can see that there's a couple of ways we deal with that. Al Gore, he defined those questions: must we change, can we change, and will we change? You can see how World of Wallace puts that into order. So for us, that must be, that's our story. And the story is based on Earth Charter. We get out there, we share it with as many people as we can that say, this is our why, this is how we try to implement that. And of course, that is also part of the can we change. With those why questions, we can really find solutions. We'll do it in our projects. And then the last part, the will we change, and we will talk about it a little bit later. That's actually what we do with our team. And I always say, I don't know if you will change, but I will change, and I will try to persuade my people that they can change too. So, and if I can change, everybody can change. So we really have to put it into practice and get going. And I think that's very important. And it's a constant iterative process with all our team members.
Yeah, so it's like we have a summer school within Wallace where we approach different subjects. And of course, the Earth Charter, using the Earth Charter as a tool for change is one of the major topics that we discuss.
Well, what we found too, we can do a lot of practical courses, for instance, but the Earth Charter has a very nice base of more philosophical courses about sustainability, where it's very new to a lot of our work. So we always try to have 5, 6, 7, or maybe even 10 people a year, the young people, the new leadership that can go to the Earth Charter and do a course. We used to send them to Costa Rica. At this point, they're all online, which is part of this time. But I think that really worked for us. And it also brings different departments from our company together, because now they have a common theme. They all think about sustainability and the Earth Charter. It really worked for us really well.
Yes, so that's a beautiful bridge to the Earth Charter Cities Manifesto, because a lot of the some people within the company did the Earth Charter Cities course, which put them into international community of people that are working on sustainability in cities and value-based leadership. So you are also the author of the Earth Charter Cities Manifesto. Can you tell us what it is, and how did it come to be, and how does it work in your day-to-day work, in your day-to-day business, and how you approach cities?
Well, first of all, when we started to talk to cities about the Earth Charter, a lot of people said, we really like this when we read it, and it was actually so good that they said, let's endorse it. And then they didn't know how to put this into practice, because the set of principles and looking at their daily practice, they knew that they needed some kind of guidance to bring their people from, liking the Earth Charter to actually implementing that in their daily work. And, we can't be everywhere at the same time. So I really thought, okay, let's try to combine all the principles of the Earth Charter and give them a little bit of a different order. And then let's combine what we already know about urban development and the principles of urban development for more sustainability, a more just way of building communities, more building cities as part of the overall ecosystem. All those principles, we try to put that into the Earth Charter Cities Manifesto, principles about fair business, fair finance, because those were angles where cities really said, okay, with the Earth Charter and these directions in our daily practice, it's easier for us to determine our own policies, and also finding that if you bridge that, if you let the people have easier access to their decisions on good and bad and about long-term perspective and how to relate to the community of life, and actually cities are very smart. If you really listen to cities and the people in there, there's a big drive of solutions. And we're looking at Jane Jacobs at this point, a big hero of people that really love cities, I think. Mm-hmm. And she already said it. Cities have the capability of providing something for everybody when they are created by everybody. So that governance part, that already shows that it's not just about technical solutions and building green roofs or green facades or better energy. It's about how we create it better for ourselves and the earth in the cities, and we can really make an impact there.
Yeah. So we're talking about sustainability in the broader sense of the word.
I think you can only talk about sustainability in a broader sense of the word. Is some of the four pillars are missing, we can maybe put band-aids on a certain sore or wound, but we're not healing. We can only heal if we rethink that whole combination. That's why I started with saying, the balance is what I found in Earth Charter, and that's how Earth Charter found how I try to work. I'm still saying try because, we're far from perfect. But again, day to day, we're trying to make decisions that get us closer to those solutions from very different angles. And I think that is very important.
Mm. So you're using the Earth Charter principles or all four pillars, all 16 principles to improve well-being of cities and to come closer to a more just sustainable and peaceful global society, specifically in cities. Can you give us some concrete examples on what do you do to incorporate those value-based elements into urban development?
Well, this is our practice. If you look at our projects at this point, I'm stuck in Holland because of Corona. I can't travel to Germany, so I'm very close to our projects now, and it's really nice to see how they're developing. But let's talk about one of our first projects in the south of Holland. A huge project, 600,000 square feet of empty buildings, older buildings. So of course we try to revive that first by thinking, okay, what is the role of this building into the new society here? The economic, social, who is going to use that, not for a short term, but for a long term. We didn't think in rental contracts, but in the economic effect that this building could generate. And, maybe with a little bit of luck or, with the touching the right, vibe, within, let's say 18 months, we brought this building from 0 employees to 1,200 in not one big tenant, but in a lot of different users in this building. So that's where it starts from us, starts with the community and think of how they can live and also have influence in how they act together. And at the same time, we knew when we bought this building, the first year, our energy bill just for heating was 1 million euros. So all fossil fuels with a big ticket. So, it makes business sense to really think, okay, how can we do this different? And with that community of small players, and we call it massive small, a very strong community, we also had strong users of, our building and the energy that we could generate there. So for us, it was a good business choice to start generate our own energy here, on the roof, but also, in the circle around us. There's big solar parks now, and the whole transition from the old ways and the old materials and the fossil-based economy, we got that down in the last 8 years to only 30% of where we started. You can see it a little bit here. And we hope that in the next 2-3 years, we can actually go to carbon neutral. And this is in an existing building that was not designed for any kind of performance in this way. And of course, we will see how, we can bring it forward. The other things is, we capture rainwater, we try to be part of the ecology. We have bees there because it's so important to have bees and pollinators. The bees also need fruit trees. So we changed our garden, we changed the way how we capture our water and how we filter it. So energy, waste, water, all these things came to play here. And I think it was a great example. And with that, you can also bring that now into solutions for new policies. So, after this project, the talks that we had with any other city is different. It's not about developing buildings anymore. So we're a developer, we are approached by governments and cities, and they ask us to create that new economy, that strong vibe. And of course, buildings are involved. And that also meant that for us, it's actually a great business case, not just for one project, but we really have a unique selling point. The fact that we want to be sustainable gave us a competitive edge. I think in the Corona situation now, where we are in Europe, I think we are strong. Of course we suffered a little bit too, but the way that we gather tenants and build communities, it's actually stronger than many of our competitors. So I also really believe that if we still fine tune more and use the Earth Charter even more, we can be one of the new business models in the future. So, and I think a lot of business can do the same.
So this unique selling point also brought you to Dortmund, right?
Yes. Actually, through a very funny way, because a lot of people wanted to know about our first project there, where we did all those different things that were not in normal business models. I was invited to go to China at some point to talk about it, and that went, that grew into a very big circus of people that wanted to attend. And in China, they said you really have to be in touch with Dortmund because they were sister cities. They talked about solutions, and that's why we visited Dortmund. Part of the Ruhr area was the second largest urban area in Europe, but all built on industry. Most of that industry left. So there's a lot of transition places there. And, with our business models, they believe that they actually could capture part of what was still there in old icons, in existing buildings, and create that new community with enough business strength and economical strength to also bring new ideas to that area. So we started to engage. This area is huge. You can see there's old industrial buildings there that I believe are very important. Don't destroy our DNA. If we can reuse it, try to reuse it, even if it's just for marketing purposes. The most sustainable building is the building that's already built. Even if they're not performing well, try to let them re-perform, but destroying them and build something new, it's nice for a developer. And even if people sometimes say, I'm a developer, no, we are a long-term part of the city that we go into. We call it first in, last out. We are not selling our projects. That means, I have to make areas that really perform well. And then you start thinking about how can we use this. It's always nice to see, if you talk about solutions, this is usually the CEO of this company being me trying to figure out how we do things. But if you click to the next page, then you can see that you can also build people around you that know how to implement that really well. So we really try to build contrast, keep the old building, but also create something new, in this case called the fourth wave. So, a new vision about the economy of the future, where we like to bring new big innovations together, but also have access for organizations like the Earth Charter, bring them in touch with universities, you know, a place where there's a lot of conversations about the future. You know, trying to build a building that is really low carbon, actually has no carbon footprint. And you know, the great thing is that the vision of this whole project now resonates so much to all the big players in this area that we are building partnerships with the energy companies, with the water companies, with industries around us. They all want to be part of, you know, a bigger community and try to make a difference. And not just because they like the idea and the marketing, they also start to figure out that actually it will bring them better business. And that is why I think for every business, it's worth it to use the Earth Charter and think about their future and think about building that competitive edge with understanding the balance of sustainability.
Yeah, so that really resonates with respect and care for the community, right? The community of life for people around this project or any of our Wallace projects, but also of the ecology, bringing ecology in.
Yeah, community has so many different levels, and you know, if you start to work at something and you and people give you your problems about, you know, try to solve this in sustainability. Of course, you have your direct solutions, but for me, community means, you know, the decision that you make has always much more impact to anything around you. It can be nature, it can be a small community that lives next door, it can be businesses next door, it can be a future generation actually that you'll implement with, that you'll impact with your decision. So I believe that is the community that we're talking about. Community of life, that's how Earth Charter calls it. You know, you can have very different definitions for that, but that is what it means to me. Not just now and everything that lives in Earth, but also, you know, how that evolves into the future, and you know, try to understand what impact your decisions make. And that's where I really think we can make a difference.
Yeah. So my final question would be, why should businesses embrace the Earth Charter and use it as a tool for change?
Well, you know, let's not be afraid about bringing that complexity into your company, because it's really not that hard. But I tell you, if you do it right, and there's people that can also help you get there, you'll make more money and you make more value. You know, you can explain to your business circle that you're doing good business, but you also have a different impact. You know, you do the effects of what you do with your company will be better. You know, and people like that. I think the future of investment is going there. The investors will go to your company if you can make the difference this way. And if you can show balance, if you can show that you're actually doing the same thing as your competitor, but have a better impact in the results of your decisions, you know, people want to be with you. And I guarantee that. And I actually, in my very small way, not being perfect in all our projects, I prove that this is the effect that we really like. Mm-hmm. And you know, we're looking at Tinbergen here, and you know, he says, you know, for every policy or principle, you also need to create a tool, and that is also what we did with Earth Charter. You know, you can look at all the principles, you can look at what you actually like to achieve, but you have to try and build a toolkit to actually get it done. And you know, I showed you a little bit what we do in our projects, but you know, I think every business can look at those principles and think about, okay, what is our instrument to get there? And again, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to use all the principles, but if you can make an impact with parts of the principles and you do better 15% every year in the impact that your decisions make, and your business thrives as well, because I can promise you that it will, you know, go for it.
Thank you very much, Gerben. Thanks for your time. And I hope it gets a little bit clearer why businesses should use the Earth Charter as a tool for change. Thank you, Mallory, for allowing us the time to share this information. I give it back to you.
The last thing is to the business community out there. You know, I'm your business friend. If you really want to know more about how we did things and you know, where we can make the difference, or want to know more about my path, don't hesitate to approach us. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, both of you. That was wonderful. All very well said. I really appreciate both of you joining us today. And also thank you to everyone who is attending this webinar today. Stay tuned for the rest of the series where we'll have more global experts break down each pillar of the Earth Charter. If you're ready to get involved with ECI or Charter International, whether it's through a class or a partnership, or you just want to learn more, feel free to email me. It's earthcharter@medcombenefits.com. Again, that's earthcharter@medcombenefits.com. Thank you so much to our guests, and thank you to everyone attending. I hope everyone has a great day and stay safe.
Bye.